Amen.
Amen to that. Secretary's report. Chance to review the minutes. I had looked at them earlier, and as I saw them looked. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the September 4th meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and second. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Correspondence?
No correspondence.
Financial statement?
Okay. Our current checkbook balance is $6,592.80. And the bills that need to be paid are as follows. Houston Associates, and it's for $4,924.66. That was our audit for last year. And Sherry Crawford, for the work that she does here on the board, $246.31. KLH for their retainer, $200. And Yablonsky, Costello, and Leckie for $400, which is a retainer. And $4,852.80 for 48 easement request letters. And that would be the extent of it for the moment. That would be all I have. Other than, the amount of our bills last month was $5,787.
No, this month.
Of this month, I'm sorry. Of this month is $5,787.90. Thank you.
Yeah. But the one for the audit is not in there because I didn't have that. You put that in.
Okay.
Yes,
So we'll get that right.
we'll have to okay that too.
Yes.
So the audit was 4,000.
It was $4,924.66. If there's any questions, that's all I have.
I don't have any questions. Anybody have any
No,
questions?
no questions here.
Motion to pay the bills as read.
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Second?
I'll second it.
Motion was made and second. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Solicitor's report.
Thank you. Over the past month, there's been continued activity related to the property acquisition phase of the project. Just a brief summary, as we've talked about before, the property acquisition has to be achieved before the project can go for funding, and then that's going to control the cost of the project. The correspondence continued to go out. At last month's meeting, I had reported 145 mailings had gone out. There were additional 48 that went out between last month's meeting and this month's meeting. I have personally, in my office, received 17 back from property owners. My understanding there were some up here at the Township office. The Cherry has, I don't know the final count on that. Vast majority are receiving no response, which was as anticipated, as we talked about. It's easier to do nothing than do something, and that's what seems to continue to occur. I have received numerous phone calls. My report looks intimidating because attached to it are several pages that outline all the contacts I have had from property owners over the past month, and I've been tracking that just for my own benefit as well as the benefit of the board. Everybody's been, for the most part, pretty cooperative. Had one or two people get a little hostile, but that's to be expected at times. Most people have indicated willingness to sign the easements after we discuss that this is a public project, both for the environment but also for the property owners. And usually the questions related to matters of the drawings more so than anything else. And as I have explained, that's more in the realm of the engineer. I know enough to answer some general questions like what the hash line area is and what the little circle is, but beyond that, I defer to our engineer. And because of that, I have invited, and it looks like maybe some people have responded to that invitation, many people who called to come to the meeting if they have particular questions about their easement. Lastly on my report, there was discussion regarding the one parcel of property that the authority is going to have to fully acquire for the pump station. There had been some talk about whether there was some property sold near there recently that could potentially be something we wanted to have the appraiser look at. I have searched, we have been unable to find anything that shows there was property sold in that area. Just to be safe, I had a friend of mine who's been involved in the real estate business about that. Maybe what I had received wasn't completely accurate, but the board's going to have to decide tonight whether to accept the appraiser's report as to that parcel, which was a separate appraisal than the ones for the right-of-ways, and then whether we're going to move forward. So I've listed here matters for consideration by the board at this time. The first one relates to the completion of letters to property owners. The ones that still need to go out would be the ones that had engaged previously with the board when we had the numerous meetings and came in and said, hey, this is our drawing, is it possible to do this, that, or the other thing, maybe change this a little bit. And I know that, of course, there's been the comprehensive reviews by the board in the past on those requests and the engineer. We need to move forward with notifying folks that requested those, whether those changes could be accommodated, whether they could not be accommodated, and then see where we get with additional easements from them. I think once we've completed that last piece of the puzzle before we're able to move forward, we do need to accomplish that. Then the question becomes when to formally file for eminent domain on any that have not been voluntarily executed. If we can get the remaining letters out in the next month, I think we would then be probably in the following month, so that would be getting us towards November, be able to start getting ready to file the eminent domain proceedings to acquire the rest of the necessary right-of-ways. Similar question relates to the parcel that we need to acquire for the pump, or excuse me, for the treatment plant. Are we ready to proceed on that? I would like to briefly discuss some suggestions on that in executive session when we're done, since it relates to acquisition of property and potential litigation. I think on both points we can discuss that in executive session, but that's what I would like to discuss briefly at the conclusion of the meeting with the board. That's the extent of my report.
You've been busy.
A little bit.
A little bit. A little bit.
So there's no record of that property being bought?
I looked under the names, we searched parcels all around. There's nothing that we looked up and down the street, you know, just pulled up every single one of them, and there's nothing. Now, there may be a transaction, there may be a sales agreement perhaps in place, but that's not going to be recorded in most situations. It's not going to be until the deed is transferred.
Can I ask which pump station we're talking about here?
It's not a pump station, sir, it's a treatment plant.
Okay, we were talking about a pump station before.
If I said pump station, at one time I did correct myself.
Okay, it's a treatment plant, okay.
Yes.
All right, I'm clear now. I was a little confused.
So, if you have any other information, you can get it to them.
I'll see what I can dig up.
Yeah, again, we haven't found anything based on what you had, Rich, and I looked at every property up and down every street around there and couldn't find any recent sales. Okay?
Very good.
Okay.
And, make a motion to accept this solicitor's report.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and second. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Engineers report.
Okay, thank you. I have circulated a written report. We continue to work on the revisions to the easements. We also have had some correspondence with some property owners, several that were sent over or directed to us by Eric. So we're working a little bit there as needed. And then the major thing this month was that we did get the NPDS stormwater and ENS permit resubmitted on September 18th. So that is in. We're at the mercy now of any more review comments and timeline from the Conservation District. Beyond that, yeah, the bulk of the work right now is just still working through the revisions.
Excuse me, are one of those revisions to my tea room?
Yes, so after your, Chanel, correct? After your conversation, I sent that off to Eric, said that we needed to review the new layout there and that we would be removing, or I recommended that we remove your name from the letters that
Right,
went
but
out.
I still want to tap in, I just needed more than 150 feet because I don't have anything to give you.
Let's hold off on
Yeah,
that
okay.
till
Yep.
we get to the next phase of the meeting. So everything's submitted to, for the
Yes,
stormwater and everything,
correct.
that's good.
Correct.
Now, according to this, once you get that,
Yes, we can't submit the Part 2 permits until we have an approval there, so, you know, we've submitted now, resubmitted twice with comments, so hopefully this one comes back approved. It's just a matter of how long it'll take. That's all I have.
very good. For motion to accept the engineer's report.
I'll make, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Motion been made and second. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Now we come to the part that you guys have been waiting for. Citizens' comments. Whenever you state your name and your address. We may not be able to get you answers tonight. We don't have all the drawings here if it requires that, but the engineer and the solicitor, they will try and help you as much as they can at this point. If we can't get it done tonight, they will get back in touch with you.
And I would note that if somebody has their papers with them and their drawings, perhaps we could go over those individually with folks after the meeting concludes.
That's a possibility too. It's up to you guys how you want to do it.
That's what I need.
All right.
Same. I just got a quick question. I watch you guys on TV a lot. You guys look good on TV.
Name and address.
Oh, I'm sorry. Frank
We
Gasparro.
need your name.
Frank Gasparro, 24 McCarroll Road, Hickory.
There you go.
Anyhow, I keep hearing you got sending letters and all this stuff out. I asked for, I guess, an easement, I don't know, about a year ago maybe. And I mean, you're talking about it now that you're going stuff, but I haven't got anything. I mean, I haven't gotten.
Did you
letters
request
at
a
all.
change be made?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're gonna be in the next batch coming up, so
Oh. So
sit tight.
Good.
It's coming.
Obvious. I gotta patience is not an Italian virtue.
Yeah, yours will be in the next batch.
I've got a couple just general questions.
Go ahead.
Stanley Cass, I'm actually in Westland. I don't have an address. I'm a property owner though. I was wondering how's it gonna be distributed as far as the pricing goes? Is there gonna be a plant fee and a frontage fee on this? Or have you guys decided upon how this is gonna be done? Because
That hasn't really been officially
I've been active in
decided
some
yet.
others, and I've seen the fairest way to do it is you have a plant fee, then you have a pipe fee, and whatever pipe goes in front of your property, you pay the frontage fee. That's the way it's typically done.
Yeah, that has been discussed as one way to do it. Now, you have to understand, I just was appointed to this board last
Yeah, I know,
month.
I understand. I'm just,
But I've attended some of the meetings, and I know that was
Yeah, I'm just
talked
trying
about
to-
before, but a specific plan has not been done yet. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I think we're waiting until we see what kind of funding we get and what kind of grants we get, and that will determine what it has to
we're
be.
starting on this one almost broke, basically, so
Oh,
it's a tough climb.
and
up.
every new municipal authority that starts this project basically starts.
Well, some of them actually start off with a couple million in the bank.
Well, this one had a couple million too.
It did?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gone.
Gone. All right, well,
Yeah.
congratulations, you guys know how to spend money. The timeline on this from here on out, we still talking shovel, going out the bid when?
So let me see what we have here.
And also the anticipated cost.
Yeah, so we're hoping to apply for Penvest, I would say, it's mid next year, a little earlier than that. By the time we receive Penvest, bid and everything, we're looking shovel ready maybe in 2021, right around
Or-
mid 2021. I don't have the full schedule
Yeah, it's
recently
close
we put
enough.
together, but
It's hard to pin a moving
Yeah.
target.
I made a bid, and the engineer is more in charge of that. I've been telling people probably no sooner than the spring of 2021. So
yeah, so it's
we're pretty consistent.
yeah, that's if everything hits.
So the anticipated engineer's cost right now is,
Oh, I don't have that on me.
because I searched the
It hasn't
website.
It hasn't changed.
But, yeah, I searched the website and the notes are back of 4 or 5 months, so I
Yeah.
couldn't really
Well, if
tell
it's
where we're at.
right, nothing's changed as far as price. I would hate to misstate something now, so I can get back to you and get you what our most recent.
And also
estimate
the
is.
amount of tap-ins, I read it online, but I wasn't exactly sure. if
The
that
number
was-
of taps. Okay, yeah, that's around.
Six.
Well, no, that's easements. I think the total taps is around 500.
It was 505 or 8
No,
or
I think
something.
it was 580.
Maybe,
Yeah.
it's in the fives.
Say my name again.
No, we know who you are now.
Well, speaking of tap ins and all that, any idea what this is gonna run?
Not yet.
A house to, no?
No, it's
It's almost impossible to figure it out until you start going for grants and for funding to know where you've got to be at.
yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, the grant and the funding application will go in requesting grant money to cover the tap fees, but it'll be, up to the mercy of the funding agency whether we receive that or not. And then depending on what the shortfall is, that's where we'll come up with the tap fee.
One other question. You got a lot of pump stations involved with this project. Your operating and maintenance budget's gonna be pretty high, I would think.
We've got 5 different watersheds.
I know you do. That's what I'm saying, because I happen to live in Cecil, and we had a couple pump stations over there, and they had to go back and get rid of them. They ran a lot more pipe just to get rid of the pump stations.
How are you gonna run it uphill?
No. They had a situation where they could get rid of them, is what I'm saying. They piped them around so it tied into another place. There they started off with like 792 taps then, but they had an easier time due to the fact that there was a lot of places that already had treatment plants in place with many customers. Here you're starting off from ground zero.
We're starting
You're
from ground
greenfields.
zero.
You're greenfield.
Yeah, and what I'll say is when we estimated what the rates would be in the Act 537, we would have included operating costs for the pump stations, but of course that will need to be updated and really fine-tuned once we get to an operation standpoint. You know, this, yeah,
Throw
this,
that out there, because it's gonna be expensive.
yeah, this board, up to this point, is really working towards getting it permitted and moving to construction. The actual ongoing operation of the authority has not been, you know, really discussed in detail, because a lot of the details we don't know yet.
Okay, thank you.
You seem pretty up to date in all this. We are looking for a board member.
I don't live in a
lives in
township.
Seaside.
I was having the same thought.
I don't live in a
You said it was
township.
in
Unfortunately, I got an address, but I physically don't live here.
Is this your copy?
No, I happen to be.
Anybody else have anything, or we'll
Technically
move
inclined.
on and then we'll get the meeting over and then we'll.
Yeah, I would just say, if anybody else is here with their easements, do you have specific?
Yeah, I got questions.
Do you have drawing, engineering questions or legal questions?
Engineering. We'll
Okay.
get to the legal.
Let's
bit.
do that.
Then we'll do
after.
that after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Is that before or after the executive session?
We'll do it before.
Before.
We'll do it before.
It's a silly one, I think, but just got a question for you, one more, and I'm done, I promise.
You said that the last time.
No, I didn't. Anyhow, this pump station thing, I guess there's probably going to be one over here. Like, how much aroma is going to go along with that?
How much did you say? Aroma?
Yeah.
It's more like smell.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, we would like to say none. The pump stations that we would anticipate that there's odor control there, so that we will feed chemical in to prevent smell.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just wondering, can get any worse than?
I was gonna give you some smart remark, but being the chairman, I have to be reserved. Okay, anything else? We'll move on. Old business. Of course, we're always looking for another board member. Update on letter of easement non-signer.
That's mine, I covered.
That's been covered. New business, we've approved the bills. I kind of, I know Bill or Paul wanted, and then.
Yeah, we talked about that
Yeah,
last time. No big deal.
I'm with you, we approve it in the treasurer's report, so it's.
Yeah, it seemed like a.
It seemed like,
do it.
I think that's the way to do it, yeah.
Do it.
Approve LOC fund transfer, we're gonna have to transfer some.
We should be all right. Well, isn't this our balance? 6592? And that's our, When they're looking
That
for-
plus. That's what I said. That's just for them, that plus that.
oh.
You forgot that one.
I should have
So the
subtracted what I
answer is
had.
yes.
Okay, yeah, we are gonna have transfer. How about just transfer what we would have been, $20,000?
I'll make a motion, we transfer $20,000 into the checking account from the LOC fund. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion's been made second. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. I don't think we have anything else to do at this point. Next meeting is November 6th, 7 o'clock here at the lovely Mount Pleasant Township office. I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
And I'll second that.
Executive
Oh,
session.
wait,
Do you
yeah.
wanna go-
You're gonna adjourn to executive session after.
Yeah, yeah.
meeting.
We're gonna adjourn this, and we're gonna deal with the questions here, and then we're gonna have an executive session. We're not coming back, and we're not gonna make any motions. Any business.
Adjourn to executive session. Put a break to.
Yeah. But then